An independent clause is a fundamental building block of English grammar. It's a group of words that contains a subject and a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. This means it can stand alone as a sentence. For example, take the sentence, "He is a wise man." Here, he is the subject and is the verb. Together, they convey a complete idea. Now, let's break down the key components of an independent clause. First, you need a subject. This is the person, place, thing, or idea that the sentence is about. Next, you need a verb, which tells us what the subject is doing or what state it's in. Finally, an independent clause must express a complete thought. It should make sense on its own without needing additional information. The structure is quite straightforward. Subject plus verb plus optional additional information. For instance, in the sentence, "I read the whole story," I is the subject, read is the verb, and the whole story adds detail, but isn't necessary for the clause to stand alone. Now, let's look at how independent clauses can be connected. You can join two independent clauses using coordinating conjunctions like in, but, so, or nor, for, and yet. For example, "I want to buy a phone, but I don't have enough money." Here, we have two independent clauses. "I want to buy a phone, and I don't have enough money." Each one can stand alone, but they're linked to show a contrast. Another example is, "He went to London and visited the Lords." The first clause, "He went to London," stands alone, and the second clause, "visited the Lords," also stands alone, but we understand that the subject of the second clause is the same person. It's important to remember that while independent clauses can stand alone, they can also be part of more complex sentences. For instance, "Sarah smiles whenever he sees her" contains an independent clause, "Sarah smiles," which can stand alone, but it's connected to a dependent clause that adds context. To grasp the concept of independent clauses better, here's some tips and tricks. 1. Identify the subject and verb. Always look for the subject and verb first. If you can find both and they express a complete thought, you have an independent clause. 2. Practice with simple sentences. Start with simple sentences and gradually combine them. For example, take "The sun shines" and "It is a beautiful day." You can combine them. "The sun shines and it is a beautiful day." 3. Use flashcards. Write down examples of independent clauses on flashcards. Shuffle them and try to identify whether each one is independent or not. 4. Create compound sentences. Take two independent clauses and practice joining them with different coordinating conjunctions. This will help you see how they work together. 5. Read aloud. Sometimes, hearing the sentences can help you understand their structure better. When you read aloud, pay attention to where the pauses are. They often indicate the end of an independent clause. By focusing on these components and practicing regularly, you'll find that identifying and using independent clauses becomes second nature. They're essential for clear communication and effective writing, so mastering them is a valuable skill.